candles, I'll say it together. Yeah. For candles. Sorry, I went over.
שאלתי מאת אדוני, אותה אבקש. שבתי בבית אדוני כל ימי חיי, לחזות בנועם, בנועם אדוני, ולבקר בהיכלו. שבתי בבית אדוני כל ימי חיי, לחזות בנועם, בנועם אדוני, ולבקר בהיכלו. אחת שאלתי מאת שאלתי מאת אדוני, אותה אבקש. אחת שאלתי מאת אדוני, אחת שאלתי מאת אדוני, אותה
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Are we on? There we go. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to everybody. I'm Rabbi Jessica Graff, joined by Cantor Toby Glaser, George Altshuler, our rabbinic intern on the Bima, and Jonathan Dimmick at our beautiful grand piano. And Zach, and Peter, and Alan, and David downstairs, and lots of other great people. So you might notice that the chairs look a little bit different than they have recently. And those of you who are not in one of these chairs in the middle, if you would like to be, feel free to grab one of these red ones over here, and you can kind of line it up if you want to join us. They disconnect. Over the last 2.5 years, when we've been trying to separate ourselves physically and not sing at each other and not do all these things, we spread out in our beautiful sanctuary that holds 1,100 people. But now, 2.5 years later, we've spread out in our beautiful sanctuary that holds 1,100 people. And it's hard to hear everybody singing, and it's hard to build ruach in this space, real Shabbat spirit, because we've all been kind of doing our own thing. So we're going to make an effort tonight to fill this room with songs so that you can hear each other. And so I invite you to sing really loudly, to pull your chairs together if you want to, or sit wherever you want. But this is our experimental Shabbat, especially with our young people here, and we're so happy to have our teens with us to be able to hear each other. So please say hello to the people around you and welcome them. I'd like to invite Nancy Sheftel-Gomes to come to the Bima to welcome us on behalf of, well, I don't know, Nancy, on behalf of what? Because you're a leader of so many things. I think maybe you're representing the Hills of Eternity board tonight. Wonderful. And also the head of Hamotzi, and also 20 other billion things.
I know, but Hills of Eternity has an official
greeter
position as rotating greeters. So Shabbat
Welcome.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Rabbi Graff already told you, my name is Nancy Shaftel Gomes. I am what you call a lifer.
And we're so glad.
And I've even slept here, but that's no big deal, because I guess all those people right there have slept here too. But I only slept here once. After that, I got somebody else to sleep here for me. But tonight I'm here also to say Yortzeit for my mother, and maybe some of you are here to remember somebody that was dear to you, or because of a happy occasion, like coming to school, coming to studio. But this is a fantastic place. Maybe you're just here to come here and feel what it's like to be in a Jewish space with Jewish people. And this is a really special space. It's like the intersection of the world. So many paths cross here in this place. And we have this archaic art, iconic art, where the artist has taken something from a very long time ago, Moses getting the Ten Commandments on Sinai, and put it at Half Dome. But I want you to look at that window and think about, we can talk after. Think about where that window is set. Okay, and that brings me to the Hamotzi thing about feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, and sheltering the homeless, which I guess could be anywhere. But I have a feeling that there's something similar about the artist's vision in that window that's similar to the artist's vision in that window. So I'll just leave you with that to think about. And Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I love that idea that we're sort of the vortex, the Jewish vortex, Nancy. That's awesome. We do come together from lots of different places. And I have to tell you guys, now that Nancy's pointed out this wonderful window, that we usually look here, and the sun always is beautiful there. I walked into this room the other day with Gordon, and all the lights were off, and the sun was streaming through our Moses window, and it just was like, wow. But I have to tell you, because Nancy mentioned this window, on Sunday morning for the beginning of studio, I walked in with Zach, my 6-year-old, and he said, "Mommy, I think that's God right there. See, she's right in the middle." I thought, okay, good job. So we interpret these windows in many different ways, but they certainly inspire us to good works. We are going to have some of our teens come up to light our Shabbat candles for us.
Yes, we'll have Joshua, Jake, and Micah to come up. Please, guys. Jake, we can see you. All right. Who wants to give this a go? So hold either side of the matchbox, right? And just strike it, all right? Hey, first time, all right. That's all right, you're doing great. All right, the other one. Gonna blow it out. Bring in the Shabbat lights, and we sing, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Thank you. It was beautiful singing. They're not mic'd, but I assure you that we're singing along. It's good B'nai Mitzvah prep. You can go sit down, guys. Thanks. I'll take it. Thank you so much. I think we're going to come hang out, Rabbi Graff, I believe.
We're coming down here so we can sing together. We're on our way.
Someone has moved my music stand. That's okay. Sorry, would you be able to grab it, Jonathan? I got it. It's okay. Sorry, you can keep playing. We are going to be doing a bit of an extended Kabbalat Shabbat. We thought we'd welcome Shabbat. So we are going to start with Psalm 97, which can be found on page 15.
שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, לאדוני כל הארץ. שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום יום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, בכל העמים נפלאותיו. כי גדול אדוני ומחולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. יאי די 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 די
Another beautiful psalm, Psalm 29, can be found on page 18.
מזמור לדוד, הבו לאדוני בני אלים, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו, השתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש, כל אדוני על המים אל הכבוד הרים. יאי די 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 די, יאי די 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 די, יאי די 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 די, יאי די 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 די, יאי די 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 די, יאי די 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 די, יאי 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 די 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 די, יאי 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 די 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 די, יאי די 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 די, יאי די 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 די, יאי די די, יאי די 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 די, יאי די 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 די, יאי די 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 די, יאי די די, I can't hear the teens. Yay די 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 די, די 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 די, yay די 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 די, yay די 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 די, yay די 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 די, yay די 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 די, yay די 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 די, yay די 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 די.
Okay. Let's, now that we've welcomed Shabbat a little, it's funny because I think we all just kind of got in the habit of being very far from each other and not really having this kind of Shabbat joy together. And Rabbi Graf was saying when I did my, when I applied here all those years ago, I was down here drumming with people, and then kind of a year of internet happened, and then a year of COVID separation happened, and now here we are back together.
It is. We love to drum. We love to sing. We love to all be together. So we just have to practice it.
Yeah.
Got to get back into it.
Practice makes perfect, absolutely.
Exactly.
Should we welcome the Shabbat angels?
Yeah, let's welcome the angels to come in here. If you know the words to Lecha Dodi, which are on page 20, sing them really loudly. If you don't know the words to Lecha Dodi, which is still on page 20, who cares? Just sing something like Lai 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 really loudly, and we'll welcome the angels to come in those very doors that we walked in.
Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, שמו תפארת ולתהילה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי שדברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי כלה, בואי כלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
The angels are here. Thank you. Cantor Glaser, you
Thank you,
brought them
everyone.
in. You sang them in. And all these people, you know what? They're alive.
Yeah,
That's
who
so
knew?
awesome. We had no
Alan was
idea.
boogieing away, I saw.
I know, it's excellent. We will continue, but from up on the bima so you can see us with Baruch Hu on page 28.
Sorry. Die 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 yeah 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 die 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 die
את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. יי די די יי די 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 יי די די יי די 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 יי די די יי די 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 יי די די יי די 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 די.
We'll continue on page 30. In the middle of the page together, blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are a creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, you may reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים.
Page 32, praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם בלילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
Please be seated. I would like to invite any of our teens who know Ve'ahavta, which is probably all of you because you've been studying or had recently studied for your Bar Mitzvah, to come on up here and help the cantor chant Ve'ahavta, along with the whole
There we
congregation.
go.
There we go.
We got one Zach. Do we
Come
hear
on,
two
Zach.
Zachs?
We need more
Double
Zachs.
Zach. All right.
Come
Yes.
on, I know you guys
Excellent.
know
Please. And
this.
Gabe.
Come on, Tali, you know
All
this
right.
for
Yes, there we
sure.
go. Tyler
There
did
we
this
go,
like
there
3
we go.
weeks ago. There we go.
There you go. Anybody
Please,
else?
come
Even
on,
if you
Emma.
guys
Yes.
don't, if you don't know it well, you can come
The
up here
whole
and
oh, wow.
stand. Oh, come on.
All the teens. All right, even better.
I know.
Why don't you come around to this microphone?
Okay.
Do we have Siddurim? Not really.
You
All right.
big teens over there,
It'll
do you
be
guys
fine.
remember this? Come on up if you do. Big teens. Anybody who considers her or himself a big teen, you're invited.
All right, whenever you're ready.
Okay.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. All right, you still got it. All of you, well done. Passed the test.
That was amazing. Thank you.
Very excited people on this side getting powering through the prayers.
Aren't they cute? They're so cute.
They're taller than us, though. So.
They are. They're to me especially, yes. That's been the case for a long time. We turn to page 39, and I love this English reading before Michamocha all the time, but especially in this month of Elul, we have our Baal Tekiah and our Shofar in the room. I'm reminded of the direction we're heading in. Not that I could forget, let's be honest, all I've done 18 hours a day for the last many weeks is talk about the high holidays. But it just feels like we've gotten to this place all together and like we're going together. And so this reading feels particularly important at this moment during Elul as we prepare for Micha Mocha, the prayer to thank God for our freedom. Let's join together at the top of page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together.
לפני משה ומרים זה לי אנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד יאי די 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 יאי די 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 יאי די 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 יאי די Adonai את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
And after all our marching and our celebrating and our hard work to build on the freedom that we were given, we're tired. We prepare for the high holidays, we're tired. And it's time at night, right? We are tired. It's time to lie down at night and to ask God to give us the rest that will rejuvenate us, to give us the peace that allows us to sleep, that allows us to just feel that we are in a secure place, in a safe place. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace, whose sukkah of peace is spread over us, over all your people, Israel, and over Yerushalayim. Page 43.
השכיבנו אדוני, אלוהינו לשלום, לשלום. והעמידנו, שומרנו לחיים, לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. סוכת שלום, סוכת שלום, סוכת שלום. As I lay me down, may I feel peace all around, sheltered beneath your wings. May I feel safe and protected until a new day begins. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. Ve'ha'amidenu, shomreinu l'chaim, l'chaim. Sukkot shalom, Sukkot shalom, Sukkot shalom aleinu, aleinu, aleinu.
When we come together, we think about not only the celebrations that we have together as we have the privilege to be together, but those who are with us from home, who are not able to be here tonight because of illness, those who are in our hearts, in our minds, in our prayers for refuah, for healing, and for return to strength. We turn to page 253 for Mishaberach.
Mishaberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
On this Shabbat, we pray for the refuah shlema of Tzur Miriam Bat Chana Moshe, Jim Blattner, Bob Fonero, Seema Grabowski, William Kurian, Agnes Rothblatt, Greg Tolson, John Tolson, Loie Tolson, and I'm going to add Roz Tolson, who is taking care of all the other Tolsons. May God bring healing and wholeness and shleimut, a real sense of peace to all of those people who I mentioned and to those whom you mentioned now.
Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
turn to page 46 as we prepare ourselves in just a moment to stand for the Amidah. And I just feel hearing everyone's voice tonight, the loudest I've heard it in so long. Jonathan Emmanuel, our new wonderful educator, came for the first time to Shabbat services last Friday, and he said on Tuesday, "Are you guys folks who don't sing?" I said, "No, we are folks who sing. We are folks who love to be together and to get the spirit of our prayer out there." And I realized that it's been a really long slog. It's taken us a long, hard road these last 2.5 years to be back here in this place. And please God, we will be in this place for the first time in many years for the Yamim Noraim, for the high holidays in just a couple of weeks. Although we thought that last year, around this time, but we're really going to do it this year. And just seeing all of your faces, just seeing Michelle and Natalie and all of the people who come together on a regular basis, who lift us up, Jonathan and Cantor and George and just everybody who works so hard. I saw Talia a few minutes ago. This place would not exist without all of you coming together and just being here and ensuring that we're going to keep being here and being together no matter how hard this road has been. So as we come together tonight on this Shabbat during Elul, we're here. We've made it to here, and this is a good place to be. So when you feel ready, please stand and turn to page 46, and we will call out whatever it is that's in our Sidurim and in our hearts.
Yai dai 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 dai. 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 Adonai, Sefatai tiftach, ufi yagid, tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imaot, U'mevii Geula livnei vneihem, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם, עזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מחמוך בעל גבורות, ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Coming into this High Holy Day season, I thought we would look at a piece of High Holy Day liturgy, Shema Kolenu, which we hear a lot during Yom Kippur and Slichot tomorrow night. So I thought we would get us in the mood. The first verse of text is actually taken from the weekday liturgy from one of our blessings of the Amidah. So we don't have it on Shabbat. It's one of the 13 blessings that we take out of the Amidah. We don't petition God on Shabbat, right? So Shema Kolenu, hear our voices. We don't want to nag God, so we remove it on Shabbat, but it is one of our weekday Amidah blessings. the first verses anyway. And then the rest of the verses are kind of taken from various parts of the liturgy. We'll get to that in a little while. But it was probably added to the Slichot service in the 16th century. It doesn't appear then before then in Machzorim. Larry Hoffman writes of this prayer, "The searcher after knowledge questions scientifically if God can really hear. And if so, how God does the hearing." He then cites the theologian Henry Slonimsky, who asserted that Shema Kolenu represents the demand of the human heart that our voices of pain and aspiration deserve being heard. Although Slonimsky then concedes that the response is actually probably pretty inadequate, right? We don't hear this response, so it's this kind of calling out that we might not necessarily feel an answer for. We'll hear a few settings this evening, and each time we might get a different perspective on whether the composer is confident in their prayers being heard. The first setting we're going to hear is a beautiful setting by Debbie Friedman. It has this wonderful octave jump at the start. We've got Shema, which is really saying, hey, listen. And it's more of a sweet setting of the text, which seems to lovingly ask God to listen to us. We'll also hear this beautifully utilized by Shira Shore and Ruth Auerbach in our healing service. It's definitely a healing melody, and so please join us for the healing service on Yom Kippur. I'm going to segue directly into our second setting because they fit together really nicely. This is a bit of a juxtaposition. It's by Cantor Benji Ellen Schiller, who we heard a couple of weeks ago with her Or Zarua text. This is a much more reflective and private setting. It seems to denote the uncertainty of the text. It's also a very sparse arrangement, which really emphasizes the spacing of the words and her repetition of the words Shema Kolenu. So in this beautiful echoing sanctuary, I think the effect is even going to be more stark and impressive. So first we have a setting by Debbie Friedman, and then a setting by Cantor Benji Ellen Schiller.
Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Os merachem aleinu. Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Os merachem aleinu. Vekabel berachamim uvrachon et tefilateinu. Yashmea tefilot et achanunim ata. Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Os merachem aleinu. Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Os merachem aleinu. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 yai dai 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 dai. Shema Kolenu, Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Shema Koleinu, Shema Koleinu, Uz verachem aleinu, Shema Koleinu, Shema Koleinu, Adonai Eloheinu, Shema Koleinu, Shema Koleinu, Uz verachem aleinu, Shema Koleinu, Shema Koleinu, Adonai Eloheinu, Shema Koleinu, Shema Koleinu, Uz verachem
Two very different but very moving contemporary settings of the text. The final setting we'll hear will be a fuller setting of the text, so more verses. The second paragraph we hear is very famous, of course, the Hashivenu text, return us to God and we will be returned, renew us as our days of old. The first section is an anonymous composition, but made famous by one of the cantors of the Golden Age, Mordechai Hirschman. And the final portion of the text is really the most dramatic. We have this text, Al tashlechenu le'et zikna, do not cast us out in our old age, kichlot kochenu, with the loss of our koach, with the loss of our strength. And it really forces us to confront our death and mortality. This traditional conclusion, which is actually taken from a setting by Noah Shaul. I've sort of put these two settings together because I really wanted to create this kind of dramatic, lengthy piece of recitation, which really emphasizes this desperation and uncertainty that our voices will be heard, and really fitting for the high holiday season. This is Shema Koleinu as sung by Mordechai Hirschman and Noah Shaul.
Shema Koleinu, Shema Koleinu, Adonai Eloheinu, Chos verachem aleinu, verachem aleinu, vekabel berachamim uvratzon, vekabel berachamim uvratzon, et tefilatenu. Hashivenu Adonai alecha, elecha v'nashova, Chodesh Yameinu, Chodesh Yameinu, Chodesh Yameinu, ימינו כקדם. אל תשליכנו מלפניך, אל תשליכנו מלפניך, אל תשליכנו מלפניך, אל תשליכנו מלפניך, מלפניך, מלפניך. ברוך קודשך, אל תיקח ממנו. אל תשליכנו לעת זקנה, אל תשליכנו לעת זקנה, אל תשליכנו לעת זקנה, אל תשליכנו לעת זקנה, אל תשליכנו, אל תשליכנו לעת זקנה, ככלות, ככלות, ככלות כוחנו, ככלות כוחנו, אל תעזבנו.
Very different setting of Shema Kolenu, and we can hear this kind of desperation in the text. And please join us for Slichot tomorrow night. We're going to feature the wonderful Kolenu choir and lots of beautiful Slichot music and prayers. And thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much, Toby. That was beautiful. And I know that on high holidays past, I felt a sense of anxiety coming up to the high holidays. And now as a clergy person, or a pseudo-clergy person at least, I feel that anxiety even more. And your first two settings were so comforting, and it really.
The third one was terrifying.
The other one, in all seriousness, the other one reminded me a lot of the sort of the important work we have to do this time of year. So thank you so much, Toby. We continue now with simchas, with joyous events in the community. So if you've experienced a simcha or a joyous event, I invite you to share it with us all now. Yeah, Lily.
So I'm the daughter of and they just celebrated their 40th wedding anniversary.
Mazal tov.
Lovely, thank you so much. Yes, please.
This is my first time back here since February 2020, and it's so wonderful, feels so good.
Thank you so much for that, absolutely. Yes, please.
My math teacher grades on the curve.
Oh, grading on the curve. Well, I'm glad that's working out for you, because that does not work out for everyone. So, that's great. Any other simchas? Oh yeah, sorry.
So we were at a lovely wedding last week in Rhode Island. My niece and her partner got married, and I feel it was beautiful. It was exactly what they wanted it to be. It was a beautiful event, and I'm sure that in 40 years they'll celebrate.
And an addendum to that, my dad did a wonderful job officiating that one.
Thank you.
Peter.
I signed a new lease today. I'll be moving back to Oakland.
Woo.
Nice. Well, with those simchas in our hearts and any other that we are holding silently in our hearts, we join together for Shechechianu, which can be found on page 344.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Amen.
We remain standing now for Aleinu, in which we consider how all of this wonderful tradition motivates us to go out into the world and make change. Aleinu is on page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Please be seated, page 293. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those who our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. On this Shabbat, we remember as a community for Shiva, Mark Himmelstein, and for Shloshim, Claire Schoenfeld and Sheldon Wolf. If you are here on the occasion of a Shiva or of a Shloshim of a loved one, I invite you to rise and say their name out loud. Please remain standing. We remember in this first year of mourning, Rabbi Marty Wiener. If you're here during Shana, during the first year of mourning, I invite you to rise and say the name of your loved one out loud. Please remain standing. Oh, yes, in the back, please. Okay. Please remain standing. Our perpetual memorials are Shoshana Hannah Asher and Joseph Sattler. We remember the following yahrzeits or anniversaries of death. If your loved one's name is read out loud, I invite you to rise. Albert Denola, Betty Deutsch, Felicia Shapiro Jerushimovich, Charles Katz, Philip I. Krell, Lou Kroll, Maria Lekich, Estelle Kane Lerner, Conrad Magrish, Lou Moss, Harry Pollock, Richard Lee Pollock, William B. Reagan, Sabia M. Schmidt, Sophia Scheftel, Bernard Soroko, and Ernestine Water Weiss. If you are here on the occasion of a yahrzeit and your loved one's name has not been read out loud, I invite you to share it with us now. We rise together as a community in solidarity with our mourners. Mourners Kaddish can be found on page 294. Please join us. Yid Gadal v'Yid Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma Divrach Yeruteh ve'amlich Malchuteh, Be'chayechon uvyomechon uvchay dechol Beit Israel, Ba'gala uvizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'almei almaya, Yid Barach v'ishtabach v'yidpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'itadar v'itale v'italal shmei dekudsha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Ose shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel V'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to the whole world, to which we say, amen. Please be seated. So as I mentioned earlier, 'tis the season here at Sherith Israel. We have a lot of exciting events coming up. I am leading Torah study tomorrow morning at 9:15 a.m. on Zoom. We will be studying the Sfat Emet, a Hasidic interpretation of the Torah portion, which I'm really excited to share with you all. As Toby mentioned earlier, tomorrow at 7:30 we have our Slichot service, which will include Havdalah, music, and a nice snack for the oneg at the end. We also tomorrow, it's a busy day for me, I'm doing three things. We also have Expecting Jewishly at noon in Lafayette Park, so if you are expecting a baby or if you're a new parent, please join us. Sunday, we have a really important event. We have our Teach-In on reparations, which will take place at 2 o'clock in person. I believe registration for that closes soon, so if you haven't registered for that, I encourage you to sign up. And of course, last but certainly not least, the high holidays are coming up. So tickets, I know my mom received her tickets in the mail just a couple days ago, so if you remember, you should be receiving them soon, if not already. And if you are interested in purchasing high holiday tickets, please reach out to us. Anything else?
If you're in your 20s and 30s and you're watching at home, run on down to the synagogue for our YAP service at 8 o'clock.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So we will continue now with Kiddush. I invite you to stand, and if you'd like to follow along, it's on page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit. Ki hu yom techila lemikrai kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai v'kadesh haShabbat. Amen. Chaim.
And the highlight of my Shabbat every week. Let's see what's behind the curtain here. Wow, is this pumpkin challah? Excellent. All right. It's it's like the pumpkin spice Starbucks. It's like it's pumpkin spice challah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon.
And I believe, yes, please. there is a tradition during morning services during Elul to blow the shofar. And since we are a very reformed congregation, I believe we are going to invite our Baal Tekiah to blow shofar for us. Strange. How come? Pumpkin spice shofar.
Too early for that.
You want to do the tekiah, George?
Okay. Tekiah.
No. So I think we're just doing. No, I thought we're just doing a tekiah for Elul. Yeah, do give us a long one. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Beautiful. All right. We will hear all our shofar blasts at Rosh Hashanah during the shofar service.
Please join us for Oseh Shalom on page 343.
Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imro. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much to Jonathan Dimmick, our wonderful music director. Thank you to Peter and Zach. Shabbat Shalom.